This is where the grouping and grouping ID functions come into play. First of all, grouping is going to give us the ability to add on a brand new column that will give us a flag on whether or not it's being used for a total. If we see a 1 there, it's being used for a total. Otherwise, it's giving us an individual value. So, if we come back to our Management Studio, and let's again paste in that exact same query, what we could do is we could say grouping category as category total. We could say grouping subcategory as subcategory total. And we could say grouping product as product total. And now, when we execute our query, you're going to notice that we've got 1s every time that it's being used as a total, and you'll notice that that also then matches up with the nulls. But now, of course, we've gone from having 4 columns into having 7 columns, and that might be a little bit of overkill. This is where grouping ID comes into play. Grouping ID will accept multiple column parameters. And what's going to happen is it will use a bitmap to identify which columns are being used for the total. Now it's going to start from the right, and if you think about a binary bitmap, every time that it's a 0, it means that it's not being used as a total. Every time that it's being used as or being set to a 1, it means that it is being used for a total. So for example, if we specified a grouping ID of category, subcategory, and product, if we saw a value of 1, that would be for the first placeholder in our bitmap, so that would be a product. If we saw a value of 2, that would be the second placeholder, so that would be subcategory. If we saw a 3, then that's going to be the combination of 1 and 2, so that would be subcategory and product, and so forth and so on. Now, the nice part about this is that it will be an individual column. The bad part about this is that it does going to require math, and I did forget to warn you at the beginning of the lesson that there was going to be a little bit of math involved. So if we add in our grouping ID, that we can now take what was originally 7 and combine or trim that down to just simply 5. So what I could do is, let's sneak this right up to the very beginning, is I can say grouping ID, and let's go ahead and say category, subcategory, and product as, and let's say total bitmap. And you'll notice that sure enough, we've got 7 for every single one. We've got our 6s when it's the category and the subcategory. And if we kind of keep on scrolling down here, you'll notice that we then get the rest of the values. Again, like I said, the nice part about this is that it does give us the ability to trim all that information down to 1 column. The bad part about it is that it does require a little bit more understanding of what's going on behind the scenes. Here's how we can aggregate our data, and I'll see you in the next lesson.